Abusia on Amsan someone kwaba sonko somre channel so how that's why you bear media GH. Abusia ye beka ya His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Ewi ni eye power no Ghana for boss say in his first 100 days. In his first 100 days, Obe recover all loot. Enunti or the Kubia, your friend operation recover all loot. Ora. Abusia team Ora no boy Juma. Ama ensembi eba bonten say team Ora no to me I recover some loot. Ama omodi over 2,300 plus reports. To me akoka the office of the president. His Excellency ebe share prosecution ase. Nabusia ene amanebo ene echimu echese ora team no omo enaye na Ghana for bisa se da ben ene prosecutions no ebekoso omo kira ora team no chese omo be embark on a serious prosecution bia enya asem ke Ghana for enka omo akoma ede enfa to omo yem na busia sesi no sa asem na kwakoye issue ewa ye oman mu ha chese obia ehwe ni mu se His Excellency John Dramani Mahama operation recover all loot no sa report na wanya no abusia or the beye adwuma na bebre so e ka se omo ente ho hwe sisi na ya akwakosi me person ka se on person ekonekuti ensem no mu akasa enchiremu ne abetodwa nhyehyaya His Excellency John Dramani Mahama edi agu akwan mu nhyehyaya one attorney general edi agu akwan mu nhyehyaya one OSP ene Yoko edi agu akwan mu ani na kyese efa operation recover all loot asisi omo kira court proceedings koso abusia yanko ne kote nsem no mu akasa enchiremu hada so ye be media GH se ene de connect channel so ne de kwanso be se so bajemre no ahwe video si ya wada subscribe like no ba share for person be ati no anya bi ati abusia se wo sam kanya bi a no baba de na de share your comment section ho e de amai yanko
for years as if there's nothing to learn from. Some of the most innovative legal instruments, laws that were passed within those systems, those eras, are things that we should have learned from in terms of how we deal with oral. There are parts of it that we should have considered, okay, which aspects of this would be good for commissions of inquiry which are televised? Because oral is also about attitudinal change and ethic, societal ethic. That if people are seeing in terms of commissions of inquiries that are televised, I would, if I was president, I would put oral on display on national television. The people should see how much loot that we are talking about. The people should see the kind of mess we are talking about across several industries, complemented with the investigations that have been done, complemented with the prosecutions, complemented with the number of private practitioners we are bringing on board, the special counsels we are appointing, like, you know, Martin was suggesting about that appointed, that you're sorry to lead investigations in terms of this particular deal or that. So, if there was seriousness and we saw this as an existential crisis, our approach to it would determine how we deal with it, I would say. Prof.
No, you see, I was a bit worried. My senior Kofi Bento was saying so many things. Some of them that I think you landed on the point. Imponderable objections to them, but he said plenty things. So then I forgot. But I want to say that it is unfair to say a promise to recover all loot without giving a periodization to the promise overhypes that promise. I think that in the lead up to the 2024 elections, we had all seen the extent to which lootings have gone on. And there was a promise that should power be won, these loots will be recovered. And there was no periodization. It was not one of those promises that the president said, in 100 days, I'm going to recover all loot. So I want to believe, and we all are reasonable people, we know that the president was minded about the fact that in trying to recover all these loot within the practice of a democracy, you're not just going there to be just seizing people's, stuffs. You are going to resort to the law and legal processes, which we all know that the processes are problematic. We know that the processes are problematic. And so, rather than appreciating or interrogating the status quo with regards to the problematic processes, we are using the problematic processes to criticize the great promise whose implementation is ongoing. I think it is unfair. We should rather call out the sometimes deliberate delays within the processes. nobody here, your boss here, will not allow all the entire staff, immediate general, to go on leave. But why do we have a process that allows all judges and all lawyers to go on leave at a go?
Some courts are working.
No, some courts are working. But emergency. But generally, a preponderant majority of
are working. I've been in courts.
So how can, why, no, all these countries...
some education
Let me make the point. Let me make the point so they all come in. Let me make the point. I mean, I kept quiet. Yes. Prof, you've gone and paid bribe to me.
But there's a point of correction.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. My point is that we have a certain legal system that allows all lawyers and judges to go on leave, or a preponderant majority of them to go on leave at a go. And this fits into the delays, in our legal processes. And so my point is, it is up to us not to accept the delays and status quo as norm. Oh, that is how it is. As the axis of justice delivery system grinds slowly. And that's what we all say, without also appreciating the fact that sometimes justice delayed will be justice denied. Okay, so rather than saying oral was is an overhyped promise, I would want us to appreciate or to tell Ghanaians that, look, it was a good promise, but its implementation has been slow because of the problematic legal processes we have, as a people. And then let's begin to interrogate the legal processes and the delays, the attendant delays. Let's interrogate and make recommendations, for reform. Because like you rightly said, it's like we have not learned from how things were done in the past. I think that we must be interrogating or questioning the status quo, especially the ones that border on delay. And for me, so long as the oral processes are going on, I think we are fine. And it is important that, as I indicated earlier, respect to Martin, it is important that we always communicate and tell the people what is being done in the drive to recover all routes. It is important that we let the people, we carry them on board. It is when we are carrying them on and we are letting them understand what is being done, and it is when we are letting them appreciate the fact that the government means well, but there are delays. Like you said, you go and speak for 30 seconds and then they adjourn the case for 3 months, and then you go and speak for another 1 minute, they adjourn for... It is important that you carry Ghana, you feed all this information to the good people of Ghana, so that when they also begin to mount pressure, it shapes the conduct of judges. When the judges know that the people are now being intolerant of our delays, some of the delays, you guys are all lawyers, apart from me and my Medina Lotto forecaster.
He said now he's no longer a Lotto forecaster.
Lotto forecaster in quote. Apart from, you are all lawyers, and you know that sometimes some of the delays are deliberately occasioned. You know it.
Yes.
So please, I would favor every move at recovering the loots of Ghana. And if there are delays, and the delays are creating an impression as if nothing is being done, it is important that we feed what is practically happening, into the public domain, so that we'll be able to allow the public to also own the processes, and where they think that there are inordinate delays, they also bring a certain pressure to bear on the system. It is only when we begin to put that kind of pressure on system that will force people from shying away from some of the sources of delays. And this is what I want to say about that. Now, I am open to your education about the leave. You are all going on leave at the same time.
Okay. Who does that? Yeah, so the thing is that this practice is over a century years old.
It's a colonial relic.
It's a colonial relic. It must go. We must interrogate and challenge it.
It serves a very useful purpose. Look, the stress of legal practice. When you mean practice, Monday to Friday you are in court.
Doctors have stress.
Everybody is stressed. Everybody is stressed.
Yeah.
So stagger it. Can't we organize it? Okay, today this section they are on vacation. Martin, I must see you.
Everybody should go on leave.
I must see you. We all go. But people they bring their leave, and then you tell them, no, you people go. The two of you the three of you can go, and then let this one remain, and then the next time these ones will go. Can't we manage it? Can't we manage it such that?
Okay, please just a minute. The actual correction hasn't come. The correction is this: not the whole legal system goes on leave. Circuit courts are working. I've been in court this week. All right, there are online courts. They are working, and there are emergency judges. They are working. But the fundamental point remains that the justice system goes on break for a certain number of months every year, and that's anomalous. It's a colonial relic that allowed the foreign judges to travel back to the UK and come. We are continuing, it doesn't make sense. So, no, we are not saying we shouldn't go on leave.
No, he's telling you the historical
No. Aside and everything. I'm allowed to. I'm saying it doesn't make sense for, like you say, for most of the system to just shut down, okay, and everybody goes. So I'm saying, let us kind of stagger it, have an arrangement where it runs. Because look, like you're saying, I go to court last week. I was in 2-3 different courts. You speak for, let's say, an hour or two. It's adjourned for 4 months. We are in next year as we speak. The court calendars are in next year. I got a date in March of next year. All right. So look, there's such a backlog that it doesn't make sense for us to be continuing what was a colonial relic. We need to re-engineer the thing.
We need 24-hour courts.
So what happens
we don't need 24-hour
in the UK, the US, and other Western is there. They still have it. They still have it, and it's for a good purpose. As I've said, look, from experience, don't touch the vacation. What we need to do, it serves a very useful purpose. I mean, come on, you go to court, you get tired. The stress is unimaginable.
Engineers get tired.
So what we do now, ours is different. Ours is good to sleep within the problem.
No, but you want to. So see, the Canadian views are that. No, Martin, don't say that. It's okay. All go to sleep without problems.
Okay, thank you.
I speak in my sleep, and I'm always talking about what.
Oh my God. So let me end this way quickly. So the thing is that, yes, let's deal with the backlog. Okay, that's where the challenge is. Yes, the courts here, a lot of the courts here are choked. So we need to employ more judges. That's the problem. We need to employ more judges, especially in Accra.
You should become a judge.
Oh, no. Who will make the noise here? That's the thing. I've thought about it, but I think we need more noise here. Oliver and etc. We need to stay here. Of course, someday, why not? When I've left for about maybe 10 years to retire, I can look at it. But now we need more people to hold government to account here. You say, so if we employ more judges, then they will be able to take some of the backlogs. Then we can have speedy justice, because just as you said,
and modernizing the legal system.
Excellent. When you go into the court system, the rate at which the
transcription software.
Yes, exactly. You go to the UK,
transcription software.
The court is in session, and you know that even part of the transcription software, it goes to Barbados. Can you imagine?
The next day you have
the UK. So you have a court system in the UK, they are talking, and somebody's in Barbados, a Caribbean, working, trying to produce a transcript, etc. And we are here, you know, the fast track system, we tried it. There were these recorders, then eventually they got out of fashion. Long story short, now we don't have any more recorders. So we need a modern justice system.
We don't have fast track court again.
Oh, now all the courts have become fast track.
They are slow court. Listen, you say one thing, it takes
final point, Oliver,
30 minutes to make your point.
Chief Justice, listen, everybody who has come. Everybody, Chief Justice, we beg you, is that we need reforms in the bailiff system. Like there are not enough bailiffs. The bailiffs are too few.
Electronic services process.
Electronic services. Use email.
Millions of graduates home. Let's pay for that extra. Or you
Martin, let me tell you an
experience.
experience. I mean, some students took the university court, and I think I happened to be there to witness the process. The lawyer was talking. He was dictating to somebody to.
That's our fast track court.
He was dictating. He was dictating what he wanted to say.
Yes.
And I couldn't stand
it. Messes with your mind badly.
And you say that we can.
We will
in spite of all these things, we should oral should go quickly.
So knowing that, you should have been careful.
No. I mean, the process. The point is that we must recover every loot, and that cannot.
Nobody is arguing with that.
That cannot be any promise that you can.
Nobody is that.
So I think he indicated quite clearly that he supports oral.
Yes.
It is the how that probably
The
is
system
where
is not.
it is the inefficiencies in the judicial system that is impacting the delivery, the speedy delivery of the expectations of oral. That's another issue that will have to be dealt with. But you know, a number of you are sending messages about the lamentations of the lawyers about the legal system. This is what happens when you have a lot of lawyers at the table. They'll talk about their problems and what has to be done to improve the system, which is to the good of all of us. It's actually to the greater good, because in the end, if the systems are improved in judicial delivery systems in this country, it goes to the good of all of us. Mr. Nakwa is going to leave us at this point, because the stories behind the data you put out is quite clear, because then you're able to deduce why the sentiments are declining about the government's commitment to fighting corruption, because people say they don't see so much action about oral. But now we have an understanding of why that could be the case and what could be happening in the few months ahead of us. The president did give an indication of the oral cases and what is going to be done in the next few weeks. When is the legal vacation over?
So it's about 9th, the first Monday after the first Friday of October.
Okay, so that's
The second week of October.
Look at all this.
Second week of October.
You just said that it was for foreign judges to go and visit their family. So
UK is still there, US is still there, many other countries go to.
Thank you. This is what the president said about what's going to be happening when the legal vacation is over on the oral cases. Let's take a look at this.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, with regards to oral, send out kind of MPP address almost the Shishabi by Yemra say a binding woody case be home say Ebia Wafesika na Bibia or Akwenya Ubetimiaka say you any abang case na mode kwedua mode bomeno me sande sika na se agudie bia na se bibia mode bomi kwedu no me sande aba se ne beya momfa menkoto how do they call imprisonment efiase momfa menkoto efiase enti ayemra edaho enti obi ayabo no kwedu bia ewo to me say obeka say you ene yentwa so na memfa say mra na yenjai sa you know enti eno enye aban ene ebeka eye nipa yede na kugina court and so say oka say oh munjai asem no mu na memfa say mra na say agudie bia me fa ye memfa mra na say japade bia me fa ye memfa mra na.
That's the president talking also a question about the plea bargain, which you describe as the deal, which obviously got some reactions. Quite a number of your messages. This one here says, good morning. It says, so if the courts are that slow, as all your lawyers at the table are saying, how come Apenyomakin got speedy judgment same day? You want to answer that?
These are some of the issues that came up during the removal of the Chief Justice. So I can't comment since I was one of the lawyers involved.
For me, it simply means that if the courts want to be, they can be faster.
Right.
Right. There are institutional strictures, hard areas. And the question is, why should somebody jump the line? I mean, in the Demolovo case we both were in, it stayed there till the matter was moot. Okay, and I think that was deliberate. So when they want to, they can be faster.
So the courts can be deliberately slow, and they can be deliberately fast as well.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. But it doesn't discount the structural problems.
Yes.
It's just a jumping of the queue for some cases.
Yes.
But the structural problems still persist.
Okay. Good. You remember the cases where judges say they will sit a day on daily basis?
Yes.
Remember the Jachi Kwesi case?
Yes.
Yeah, the judge said we'll sit daily, and eventually I see that she was able to finish in good time when this government, the new administration. Then you remember the NAM1 case, and then there was another case that it was said that they would do on daily basis. That one, the public very happy about it. Is it Atu Forson's case or Something which was Judicial. But yeah, that's the one we're not happy about, right? Yes, because we're now pointing figures that why were they not doing that in other cases? Yes,
but clearly, it cannot be done for other cases. They'll burn out. Right. So it's that kind of thing cannot go on all the time. But there are some structural problems that can be